George anywhere. I think those projects were like the Delta project was the government project, and then the Delibrita is unfortunate. We've erected that building and everything is up to standard. But now the government, the current government led by His Excellency Joseph Boakai, actors within the government, not the president, have decided to stall that development.
But I mean,
and nothing is going on there.
Repeatedly, this particular facility has been appearing in the budget. 2024, Delibrita, clinic is in the budget. 2025, we see the outline also. It tells us that he has received money. Are you making follow up whether one country health team making use of the money coming for that facility?
I was waiting for the submission of the 2026 budget to know the estimated outturn would inform us how much was allotted and how much would receive. As far as I know, the payment that was made, I think around $15,000. That was for the bed, the furniture, and then to have it completed. Because once you complete the project and then you don't begin to use then the termites, here we'll call it the bogabog, will begin to eat up the wood and begin to do some things. So most of the monies will be wasted. But I think the government led by His Excellency Joseph Boakai, the promises that were made, I think we're having some difficult times to have it, to see them done. They told NGOs are going to be available when he begins.
We'll come to the government. We'll come to the government.
So right now, in district number 3, I am hoping, based on the outline of the budget, we will see it. And I even went to the county health team and I told them I have spoken to one of my international partners. He's willing to provide all of the drugs. We donated over 160 cartons of drugs, essential drugs to CB Doma before. This same gentleman is willing to provide the drugs. So I'm just hoping that the government can complete the facility and have it usable. Then I can provide the medication to put there. Then I'm going to Delibrita. We got several projects in Delta. In Bon County, District number 3. If you went to Bonai, we have a school project that's ongoing where we decided to activate that as a personal initiative.
All right, welcome back, and we are currently at the Police Academy intersection, where there is this case of a fire disaster within the area. And before our camera, we have this resident, a resident of this community, who here to speak to us the genesis of these issues, and as well as the effectiveness of the Liberia fire service. So you can go ahead, tell us how this entire situation began, because we were just passing by and we saw there's a blaze, and the Liberia National Fire Service is actually here to respond to this situation. Tell us, what's the issue? How this started? First of all, tell us how this started.
There was an NEC pickup that was passing.
Okay.
Then they won't blow alarm to say, oh, there's a fire. And then we all came around to see how.
Are you being a resident of this area? How the fire started?
This is what I'm saying. And then there was an NEC pickup.
Town hall there that's doing that. Muslim village are also doing a magnificent work there. That's a personal project. All several other areas that we are doing project. BMI constructed a bridge under a very difficult circumstances at the time we had the impasse of the legislature. While we were being prosecuted undemocratically, I was constructing bridges for our people. So we will continue to do that. If we look across District 3, those are the things that make me different from all other people in this place. When I became representative in 2017 and 2018, we assumed the offices of District number 3. Over 75 to 100 million Liberian dollars were given to Maki women for economic empowerment. All of you here know student fees were paid from grade school to the university, the most expensive university in the Republic of Liberia, that had more than 100 students, more than 200-300 students were going to Cottington University. But if you look right now, most of the kids are seated at home and doing nothing because the capacity is not there. But people were all over here that will spoil money. Now I hope they can come now and begin to use the money the right way, because they say we'll spoil money. by giving money to our mothers to do their businesses, by giving money to our parents to make sure our brothers and sisters go to school. Those are the things that we're terming as giving, spoiling money. Or if you pay us, we'll be able to send our children to school. Now you have been paid. I think the government is paying in time, and then I hope that they will be able to send their children to school. I just did my analysis of the statistics that we received. 60% of school-going kids are not in school because our president promised that all school-going kids will not be in the streets selling. So I'm hoping the representatives, the senators from the Unity Party in Bone County cannot come and tell us what is happening, because you promised us that school materials are going to be in schools, hospital materials are going to be in hospital, the security sector are going to improve. Now NGOs are going to come. It's unfortunate that even deliberate enlargement in the budget has been a difficult time for us. So that is the contradiction in the 1.2 billion that was submitted, because you cannot even raise 700 million. Then how are you going to talk about 1.2 billion? I mean, it is laughable, but I mean, that's the government we have, and this is the kind of Liberia we have today. So I'm hoping something different can be done in 2029 to us this government democratically. We don't want to be like people who use undemocratic process insurgency to attack democracy. I'm hoping that we're not going to tread that path in our country anymore.
Still in District Number 2, before we go to the next meeting, how far is this library project? Is one of the projects that you have been criticized for doing it or nothing?
I mean,
where are we?
No, nobody can say I should be criticized for the library project, because if we did that, then it means that all of the projects that lawmakers are associated with, then it should be criticized, because that's government project, and the government has decided to abandon that project because it's Honorable Marvin Cole who initiated that. You know, at a particular point in time, that project will now be levied to Senator Taylor, the vice president. The then vice president said, "Oh, it's Senator Taylor's project, it's not Honorable Marvin Cole project." Because when it will be erected, people saw people going there, contractors were working. They said it was not Marvin Cole. Now when the project got short, they said that Marvin Cole. So people try to associate good people sometimes with bad things. But I'm hoping that I will go extra miles to look for money and have that project.
So, Uncle, this is something you need to make follow-up on, especially the budget for Baya or Genoplita Clinic. In the 2025 budget, the approved budget for 2025, if you see the outturn for Baya Clinic on 2024, I mean, 45,000 was allocated in the budget for that particular facility. And the outturn indicates that all that money, I mean, was disbursed by Ministry of Finance. In the 2025 budget, they budgeted 25,000 for that same facility. And if you see the government still spending more money on that facility, as a lawmaker, what are you intending to do? I mean,
but I think what we need to look at,
it's not like the facility is no longer in the budget, but still in the budget money.
Yeah,
still
all
coming.
of the periods that you're talking about, from the foundation of the project to the point that the project is completed, those monies will be used. You know, to have that place clean and talk to the Amos people facility. So the first 25, that project is around $150,000 US. Even though the government were giving money, I cannot recount some of the payments that I made there personally. So those money that you're talking about 2024, 2023, 2024.
I mean 2024, 2025.
Yes, I'm saying, so whatever were paid, I think we should be more investigative to talk to the county health team people, how much you have received and what the money you have received, what it has been used for. Because Honorable Cole does not receive money from the county health team.
Well, again, it's a responsibility to be follow up.
So I have conducted
the new works that have been done.
I have conducted my oversight, and I've been living up to that. And if you ask the county health team administrator, Mr. Siaka, I have placed several telephone calls. And then my understanding is to have that place fully functional. Some money were paid to contractor, and then the work is ongoing there. And I've been there. I saw some new work being done. So I'm just going to be hoping that.
They saw the fire and then blew a line.
All right, welcome back, and we are currently at the Police Academy intersection, where there is this case of a fire disaster within the area. And before our camera, we have this resident, a resident of this community, who here to speak to us the genesis of these issues, and as well as the effectiveness of the Labrouf fire service. So you can go ahead, tell us how this entire situation began, because we were just passing by and we saw there's a blaze, and the Labrouf National Fire Service is actually here to respond to this situation. Tell us, what's the issue?
Bringing truck.
How this started? First of all, tell us how this started.
There was an NEC pickup that was passing.
Okay.
Then they won't blow a alarm to say, oh, there's a fire. And then we all came around to see how.
Are you being a resident of this area? How the fire started?
This is what I'm saying. And then there was an NEC pickup that was passing. They saw the fire and then blew a alarm. They said, oh, there's a fire. This is how we came to cut off the fire. But then later on.
Yeah, give your attention to the camera.
Okay. Of fire service jockey to put out the fire. This fire should have been off ever since. But our fire service welcome, or our fire service server do not know how to operate.
At what time they arrived on the scene of the incident?
At 10 o'clock. 10:15.
So when did the fire begin?
The fire started by 9:50.
9:50.
Yes.
And when they arrived?
They arrived at 10:50, 10:20. There was a fire service truck.
Say again. Be audible. Speak to the camera.
There was a fire service truck.
When they arrived, when the fire service arrived?
They arrived at 10:15, and the fire started by 9:30. They arrived at 10:15.
10:15.
Yes.
And the fire sparked up by 9:30.
Yes.
All right.
And
So, and what was their response to the situation?
Actually, the king, they responded with all the truck, with all the equipment.
I mean, their response to calm the fire down.
That's the reason.
I'm not talking about the equipment they brought.
They brought the equipment, but they don't know how to operate the equipment.
How?
They don't know how to use the truck.
So what did you notice?
I know that they don't know how to use the truck. They don't know how to open those fires on the truck. No truck are doing the fires. They are doing the fires. They are doing the way to open.
Listen, why would you say they don't know how to use it, and those people are specifically trained for responding to fire incident? How would you say they don't know how to use it? So what did you notice specifically?
Okay, look at me, you see, I lost my phone. I'm a surveillant. I lost my phone because of the delinquency and lack of knowledge of using these trucks. I just feel like they bring these trucks for flamboyancy. Bringing these trucks in, treat these cars. Treat them how to use these trucks. These trucks are different fire. They got extension, they got short extension. But then these trucks come.
We are coming down. Men are saying that the response of the fire service, the Labrouf National Fire Service, is belated, is not effective. So this is kind of effective.
It's very poor.
Okay.
The response is very poor. They are not trained. They need to incorporate. They need to train even these guys that they say.
Convince us by telling us as to why you say they are poor in terms of their response.
They are very poor. They have all the equipment.
How?
But they are not trained.
How?
They are not trained how to use the trucks. They are not trained. They need more training.
What specifically that you notice concerning the response of the team that came to calm down the fire situation?
I continue to say they brought the truck and don't know how to use the valve. The valve they use to open the water to come through
the tank.
No, not the tank, but through
the pipe.
Yes.
Okay. So now we're still seeing fire at the back. There's a back view of the area. We're still seeing fire. Tell us as to how long this fire has been here.
Almost 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yes.
For the team, when the team arrived, how long the team have been here?
3 hours.
3 hours,
Yeah.
and they are not able to quench the back view
Because they are not trained to use the truck. They are not trained.
Like seriously.
They are not trained. They are not trained to use the truck. They don't know how to open the valves on the truck.
Okay, so let's leave those things and let's get to the cause of the fire. Are you aware? What you think may be the cause of this?
I don't know.
Why you laughing, reporting? Why you laughing, reporting?
Liberia on today, 1117-2025. Today is Monday. Welcome to the 17th day of the 11th month of the year, and the year still stands at 2025 on today. This is the People's Program, the program that brings you up to speed the major happenings in Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. We say welcome to all of you. Remember, we open the lines where you'll be a part of our conversations. So we encourage you to please sit back and listen to our conversation so you speak within the box and you can be able to make a profound contribution to the disco on today. And you are very much important. Your comments, your opinions are the building block to our modern and emerging democracy in Liberia. We say welcome to all of you on today. Don't forget, the geometry of the whole must be kept high on the agenda because it involves the majority, and those that come with equity must come with clean hands. As usual today, I am your humble servant. I am Nathaniel B. Vah Sr. Just call me the ambassador on today, and I'm here today from the production department, T. Nicholas Barkley, making this edition a spectacular one. On today, we live on YouTube. We also live on Facebook. We live on online radio on www.knewsonline.com. We also live on 91.9 across Liberia. And you are opportune to follow us on our outlets. Place your comments and share the video and invite others to be a part of today's edition of the program. Good afternoon. Be with us until 1:30 on this Monday edition of the program. There are a lot of issues we're going to talk about on today, and we'll need your input. Good afternoon.
in Liberia around 600 BCE, tribes from Western Sudan arrived, defeating the Goliaths and establishing an empire under the King Kumba. The Kumbas developed agriculture in the area of both, were also noted for their skills in making weapons as well as craft such as the pottery and weaving. There are some records of some foreign agents visiting a trading in the area of 520 CB rather, and very little then known about the history of Liberia before the 12th century, when the Dane, the Bassa, the Kru, the Kisi people moved into the area. They were joined by others during the decline of the Mali Empire in the 14th century, however, from the records. Following the arrival of Portuguese in the 1461, named Costa de Palmita, the Pepper Coast, and the land between Cape Monserrato and Cape Palmas, and the coastal strip of Liberia, toward which those living in the territory have migrated towards in response to the increase in desertification of the Natl. 200 years later, the British later started building trade ports on the Pepper Coast, only for the Dutch to destroy them shortly afterward. By the time the Portuguese influence were waning after its conflict with Spain and Portugal was scraped off afterward. In the 17th century by the French, when the British in the 18th and 19th century, of which some areas were commonly referred to as the Grain Coast. The Golas crew, Pele and Kisi, were all involved in their trade, working with the Europeans to ensnare the indigenous people into life of captivity into the Americas. The trade continued under the abolition of slave trade in the 19th century, of which started as a debate in the USA, and to what is today a free slaves. According to the 9 Weekly Journal, on the 6th of March 1824, a resolution was passed at the 7th annual meetings of the American Colonization Society that the territory and the settlement of the society near Cape Monserrato of the northwest coast sides of Africa should be called Liberia, and the town laid out there should be named Monrovia, as an acknowledgement of the important benefits conferred to the settlement by the present Illustration Chief Magistrate of the United States, President Monroe. The first crossing was made in 1820. However, those that were then living in the Pepper Coast were none too impressed with the coming of the free slaves, seen as Americans who were buying up their land. However, the process continued until 1847, with the American Colonization Society running out of money to continue with the project. The purchased and inhabited land were announced as the independent nation of Liberia. Over 13,000 former slaves had been returned, even though many has never come from Liberia in the first place. Many were disoriented at being in Africa as the forefather had been when they first landed on America. Additionally, Liberia grew massively in size very quickly, bringing about its own difficulties. The ACS was involved in 1912. Ironically, these returned free slaves then went on to treat the indigenous population as second-class citizens, lending some 150 years later to Liberia's civil war. This process continued up to today. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Today is the 17th of November in 2003. Anders Schwarzenegger inaugurated as the governor of California. The Republican Arnold Schwarzenegger, an Austrian-born American bodybuilder and film actor, was inaugurated on this day in 2003 as the governor of California, following the recent elections that ousted the sitting governor. Austin Rodin, a French sculptor, born the 12th of 1840 November, died on the 1917 at the age of 77 into the Meudon, France. Today, in 2008, the first film adaptation of the Stephenie Meyer's popular Twilight saga a vampire-themed series of novels from teenagers premiere into Los Angeles on today. In 1989, today, November 17, a massive anti-government demonstrations to Pennsylvania were set off by police brutality at a demonstration commemorating the 50th anniversary of the suppression of students' demonstration in the German-occupied Paraguay, and under the leadership of Van Cave Hoban. They continue until the communist government resigned today. Today in 1950, German athlete Roland Martins, one of the greatest backstroker into the history of swimming, was born into the east part of Germany. 1973, today, during the Westgate saga of the scandal, the U.S. President Richard Nixon held a press conference in which he declared, "I am not a crook." On today, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and welcome to the edition of the program. So welcome to all of you following our broadcast. We say many thanks for joining us. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook. You can also follow us and be a part of the program. You are asked to share our video and invite other people to be a part of the program. Good morning, good evening, and welcome.
Why are you laughing?
Important that we have conversations on today again. You know, the last time we had conversations about these hair coloring black clothes, and Liberians were wondering, it's important, why would a man, and the reason why I'm flagging this, we're following how far this case is. Remember, the Joint Security, the Immigration and Collaboration of Joint Security arrested a fellow there dressed like a woman with the black hair covering, dressed like a woman, and traveling. When the security there started a search, they got so much astonished as to why a man would dress as such. That investigation is on. We're hoping to get full information about that. Again, Grand Gillette County again. An infant born in the Natl Memorial Hospital, another incident had occurred. You know, for Liberia, when things start to happen, it starts small, small. Small, small. Small, small. And before you look, it's trying to be something different. Liberians, you know, it's obvious that our leaders, they have a blurred vision. They don't see in the future. And you don't have to stand over the tallest tree in the southeast forest before you see further. You don't have to stand on the Ologisi mountain or Matokade to see fire ahead of you. I say, like the African proverb go, what a young man, if you stand on the tallest tree cannot see, the old man can stand and see. But almost like our own days, our generation, old people can see again. The ages that come with time is no longer accompanied by wisdom to see the future, because their vision is blurred. They don't see ahead. They don't think ahead. Maybe probably, I don't know, even back then, the older folks would drink that wine, and wine was strong. Even in the days of Jesus, they said the first miracle they performed was one of the best wine, and those drinking it testified of the best wine ever at the time. I don't know the wine our leaders, our old people are drinking now, they don't see this time around. But there is something happening in this country that we're looking. Like I usually say, I'm not a prophet, and I'm not claiming to be one. There is something creeping on this nation, small, gradually. And some of you will still be around and say, I sat on the radio, I listened to the radio, I sat by the radio and listened to a young man on the radio. He said this thing. Not even an old man, a young man. He said this thing. That there's something creepy. But the leaders, the older ones, because they indulge themselves in alcoholism, in drinking, their visions are blurred. In corruption, in greediness, they don't see. Why would a young man decide to dress like a woman? And he never wore a buba. He never wore skin tag or what is it, the women clothes. But he went ahead to wear hijab, to wear black covering. He wore it. And again, we're hearing Grand Junior came to another black covering, entering the hospital, taking a child from there. Something is happening in this country. Our leaders, because of that corrupt nature, they are not watching. They are not following. Poverty and greediness will leave Liberia in a very serious danger. There are a lot of mysterious things happening in this country that are coming down from our community leaders, from black leaders, to paramount chiefs, to clan chiefs, regional chiefs. They're not seeing it, representatives, senators. They're now observing these things are happening. But things are happening to this country. Liberians, things are happening. Before you get on a larger scale, Liberians will start to blame themselves. There is something gradually creeping on this nation. Like I said to the folks, don't think that, don't rule it out that there will be no war. That the only war Liberia have fought. Because those very things that were happening on a smaller scale that led to the war have been modified. It has been quantified. It's happening still. It's happening. On a serious note. It's happening. Just begin to ask yourself, just to remind you, Liberians, because of the hunger, because of the poverty, because of the greediness, the corrupt nature, they are giving their land up to foreigners and aiding in this country. This will bring a serious war in this country. I'm saying this thing. This will be a serious problem. There is something creeping. Sometimes you say, well, oh, why this thing? It's happening. And when things are happening, they happen right away. There are several signs that can come. If you overlook those signs, you get to know. You understand what Jesus told the folks before Jerusalem is captured? What will happen? When they were all happy, he said, because of the protection of the riverbed, this cannot happen, the security forces, what happened? The day where they were all married, making, dancing, and all that, the city was besieged. Our leaders are not cognizant of these things. There are bigger things happening to this nation. Because our leaders are not smart, they are greedy, they are selfish, they are corrupt. Things are happening gradually. We are beginning to undermine ourselves on a larger scale, and we are here pretending to ourselves that we are moving forward. Good afternoon. Let me say welcome. You know, this issue of Liberia involvement with the HPX, it's good to talk about this. How far is, because mind you, with Liberia talking about this issue of 1 billion, folks are asking about the substantive nature. Folks are asking about the substantive nature of this thing. And right now, there will be no one to tell you about this great HPS deal. Mind you, this HPS deal started from the past government under George Weah. You know, Liberia had a mind of a potential game changer in the region, in West Africa. And while you're hearing from outside, it will interest you to know that it's a completely different ball game. What the others are now thinking is that the world's largest underdeveloped iron ore deposit production is on the way. And Liberia should be the part. But how far is Liberia? You know, when this thing started, Liberia focusing on constructing this issue that will bring economic benefit to the country. And I don't know whether it be a first plan to come to Liberia and to do this. Nobody knows. But there was something that happened recently. And what is drawing more attention is, why was Liberia not a part? Why was Liberia not a part? The launch of this multi-billion-dollar Simandou iron ore project this week, there has been a long-awaited launch for Guinea. I'm going to say this to you. Imagine at that ceremony, the Guinean junta leader, General Mamadi Doumbouya, had close with him the vice president, the vice premier, rather, the Chinese vice premier, Lin Guangdong, Rwanda's president, Paul Kagame, Gabon's Brice Oligui Nguema, Ivory Coast's Prime Minister, Robert Bingui Mombi, and the Chief Justice of the Republic of Sierra Leone, David Moinima Senge. Why was Liberia not a part? This question may seem very important and a holistic one. And one of the things that you'll be asking Guinea, why you never invited Liberia. But we are asking Liberia, when we ask Liberia, why were you not a part? Why? You seem to be a very close partner in this process, in the sharing deal. Why were you not a part? Why? There are so many questions. Right now, as I speak to you, there are serious diverse views being expressed by lawmakers. Some of them, very large portion, that they see a lot of injustice in a particular deal. They don't see the viability of it. Some are termed as being snubbing Liberia. Some are termed as being avoiding Liberia, and also forth. And the other nations, they are not taking this thing lightly. They are not taking it lightly. You know, Liberia has served as the main export route for minerals for the Sierra Nema mountain range. It's the only country in the region with this operational heavy haul railway linking mining areas to the Atlantic. And having this relations with the US based in Vah Sr, Africa, and formerly called the HPS. And now, what is happening? Why is our neighbor celebrating the first Simandu shipment for this new, the Moribaya port, and Liberia is absent? Is it a political or economic reality that our neighbor Guinea is prepared to control the iron ore rather exclusively within our borders? Are we aware of this? Mind you, this is being seen as the world underdeveloped mining site. We are talking about West Africa. This is how far it has gone. And our legislature had a very important role to play in this matter. And the agreement is before them. This government has already given the green light to the company to explore via the Yekepa and Buchanan corridor. This agreement is before our legislature. It has positioned Liberia as a multi-user rail hub that could benefit Liberia from these transit fees and the spare infrastructure in our country. And pundits are saying it is based upon these analysis that our budget is even growing, because mind you, the budget is by projection before it has no fiscal outturn. And our lawmakers are considering this matter. And you know that our 2026 budget, our lawmakers are also considering it. The president already submitted this to them. It may appear to be deliberate, but the other side, they are working very strongly. Do we have any hold? Are we having a share in this process? Because what we're getting is that our neighbor is closely completing 18 to 20 billion Trans-Guinea Railway. That's about 650 kilometer route designed to transport iron ore from the Simandu and the Guinea south of Nimba to the Matakum without crossing the Liberia territory. While we are here saying that we will cross, this will be done to cross Liberia territory to help us economically and infrastructure wise. Are we cognizant? Are our leaders watching? Are our leaders having fast certainty about this? Are they? Are they? Are they concerned? And this is where we often see the Liberians, our lawmakers are being elected by the people. They are close responsibility to inform their employer. They are close with the authority that whenever they go to the capital, that's why the timeline is there. When they go there, when they come from there, they come and tell the district. They come and tell the town. through town hall meetings, the activities at the level of the Capitol building, some of the bills they are involved with, some of the concessions. And it is in the wisdom of the freedom of the Constitution that when these things happen, they can also tell them, go back and do this. That is the electorates. The employer can tell them, when you go to a session, do this in our interest, do this in our interest. But is it a reality? Is it what has been going on? What we're hearing now, Liberian economists to move forward with this SPS rural agreement is being seen that they're doing it without a clear correlation from Conakry, that is Guinea. And they will place the country in a vulnerable position. Now, with what we're hearing that they are about to complete, we leave that aside, and we ask ourselves, if our neighbor refuse to cross border export with us, how far will we go? How far will the long-term concession that we intend to have? How far, and once we don't realize that, we also see that there will be some damaging diplomatic relations with our neighbors. To be frank with you, it's almost like you know that this will benefit you, and your partner said, no, let's leave the one. You're not having conversation there again. They say, we have the clue, let's leave it. And they knew that this would have benefited you, but now they say, no, just leave it. They just stop right there, they just leave it. To ask further questions becomes difficult for you. And you are aware that since the inception of this multi-user railway, ArcelorMittal have not been happy that go come use a row, export, transport your iron ore from the Yakin part of the Buchanan route, and after their intent, what we hear is that after 5 years, then they build their own. And ArcelorMittal may have an issue with that. They do the back and forth thing. Depending on the same railway for operations. Now, we are hearing that several lawmakers has expressed concern that the country Liberia may be committing an action without confirming whether Guinea, our neighbor, truly agreed. Lawmakers who should be having these thoughts, have they informed their district? Is this now a secret? Is this now a secret? Is this a secret? Now, one of the lawmakers there, Senator Joseph, who have been a key player in this matter, with this construction agreement, construction access agreement, that is Liberia and Guinea, they are saying that there have been some negotiations set up to have the 2019 implementation of the laws in this compliance issue that will have this cross-border rail and port access issues upon. This month, the 12th of November, the committee said that Liberia faced a diplomatic fallout and a treaty violation. It said if mandatory institutional steps, including a joint review of Guinea, were skipped. That means if we are skipped already, having meeting with Guinea, we are saying that to agree, and we are not agree. Guinea have not agreed. We have not agreed to come to one conclusion. If that is being skipped, we see a diplomatic fallout. With the news we're getting that Guinea nearly to complete their 820 billion Guinea railway, about 650 kilometers, and this is designed to transport the iron ore, the nearing completion, this is the trouble. Are we aware? Our lawmakers informing the citizens about this? Is it now a secret where we see physically in the minds of Liberians that the executive and and the House of Representatives, the legislature, the first president of government divided. But then, from what we see, are they working together? Are they in the know of certain things that the Liberian people don't know about? You see, during the past government, you were here, 68 concession agreements. 66 of those agreements were completely out of order, procedure errors. Even the two that was close to completion also had issues. But one can say, yeah, let's take the one for them, but the other one, they were all below the belt. And those concession agreements were one that were per rules by the executive, by the legislative branch of government. They all look at those things and they say, well, who for this country? Just to know that 66 of them were Mughals agreement. They were not in the interest of the people. Are we running on similar path today? Are we on par with the concession access agreement? This negotiation that we are now seeing, from all indication that we have already skipped a major part of it. That will pose a bigger problem with our neighbor. Are we concerned? Are we concerned? Now, imagine, the lawmakers were requesting feasibility studies. They were requesting financial commitment, environmental safeguard, the risk sharing enrichment, the community engagement process. You see? They are also asking for the certified communication from the government of Guinea that they were explicitly approve or concur with this CAA, that is the concession access agreement. And this is required by the framework. And without this process, no agreement can be executed, no agreement can be ratified, because other parties have to be informed. Without the formal approval or the concurrence of the other government becomes another issue. And we're hearing now that they go on fire, they go on nearing completion. If we escape these things, becomes a serious diplomatic fallout and a treaty violations. Mind you, are we going to be the one to cause the problem around here now? And the government is still giving green light. See, yes, we had a deal. Yes, we got a deal. Remember, this was one of the deals that came out during the past government under former President George Weah, that the team ate their own already. Are we playing a game? Or are we going to be in a position where we'll be left out? Or we just pretend for ourselves that we're doing something whereas we're not? Now, if you look at the configuration of the entire process here, it will marvel you. Why we are still with this U.S., Ivanhoe, SPS, and on this corridor moving on, and we're giving green light to our side now, that things are okay, and we're not sure about the other side because we are not done certain things or so many things to put us on path. China is even embedded into Guinea and whole sector. The Caribbean financing process, the Caribbean co-development process, the Trans-Guinea infrastructure, they are also involved. What are we depending on? They are opting to be a part of this high-grade iron ore steel industry. Companies are there. And a lot. And what will surprise you to notice that I see, and what pundits have said, our neighbor is not just going to a deal leaving themselves out. They are closely involved. It will shock you. And this is where folks are seeing that even like we're getting involved in deal, it's just all one-sided. This is why we're going to deal is 2080. Our partner take the lion's share, we take a minimum one. And they are becoming so predictable in this process that They are predicting time. Now Guinea is talking about 2040. But then they should be set up. They're not looking at us. They're not depending on us. To say we'll go to Liberia and ask them to help us instrument. We don't want looking for people to come and help us. But they are set and are prepared. Because they are using a domestic infrastructure to become predictable in an instance. And China on the other side wants stability and control. You know, the reason why we are having these kind of conversations, we fear a lot with a nation with corrupt individuals and nations that is morally bankrupt and nations where integrity is missing and nations where accountability is never seen, a nation where transparency is looked for. It's worrisome. It's worrisome. To see where you see an entire corridor covered with thieves. Imagine. They are having companies and the country is not leaving themselves up. They have a position and they know who all they want to something to. And we are hearing now that people are beginning to win managerial process, the engineering area, the logistical backbone that tie the project together. They are all set with the process. So they're not going to look for anywhere. They have done everything they can do to get. But if you act like Ron saying that, yeah, they answer the process, will get green light, you can use the Digi Power and Buchanan Rail to the Buchanan Port. You go check today, that problem there. You will hear who car will park here, where the ship will come park. They will say things okay, but you will still find problem there. We saw this happening back. You will hear that royalty has been paid, benefits to the county will be an issue. We saw it before. Sure. In China, saying they want stability, they want control. They want a predictable market access. And getting to saying they want sovereignty, they want leverage. They're not leaving themselves out of this thing. So they want to be a part of the process. Now, with all of these things, you're looking at stability, which China wanting. You're looking at control, which China want. You're looking at predictable market access, we want the company the real thing to want. And you're looking at sovereignty and leverage, we giving the country one. So it shows that with the issue of not all these things coming to Liberia, it undermines the private agreement that is involving XPS. If you ask today, they will say everything okay. We usually say, if you go down all the submitting the president, the highest thing is, oh, Mr. President, you all today say you have election, they can re-elect you. They say they want you back, they enjoy the government. They say you're doing everything, you're good. They did it before the past government. You see? And if you see that the strategy that is, I would say that is unmatched, where Liberia want to shift power and revenue away from the Trans-Guinea system, where we see it become a democracy for Liberia. Because they want control, they want stuff. What do we want? We want to give the people absolutely authority and they give all we can get. No, like I always say, just give our own inside, just give it to us. And the people are telling you how many tons of iron ore they are willing to put out annually. I mean, they already prepared. They're not waiting. They have done a feasibility studies. And one thing I want to say to you here that's important for Liberia. If you look at all of the companies that are winning shares into this process, the country never let themselves out. It was interesting to know this. The country never allow themselves to be out of this. They themselves are a part of this process. This is one of the most interesting things about this. This is one of the most interesting things. If you look at one of the what is called a consortium between the Winnie International Group that is involved with the Guinea, that involve the Chinese company that have their own. Collectively, all of them, what I'm seeing is about 3 to 4 companies come together to hold one share. You see? If you look at the other side of it, where they have the Simandou Southern Block, 3 and 4, that side is owned by the government. This is the point I want to make. It's been owned by the government. It's been owned by the government with percentage. So that everything you will do beside when you are giving, I guess, share inside the thing. It shows you that they are up for business. It shows you that how they are preparedness. The issue of stability, the issue of control, the issue of sovereignty, the issue of leverage. Our people are not telling us these things. We are in serious trouble. I know sometimes it becomes so much a sermon out of the conversation when everybody's saying we want good for our country, and then you see the reality, they say, no, you don't want to be against it. Because telling the truth has become a thing. Everybody goes, oh, the king live forever. Oh, the king live forever. Oh, the king was naked. Everybody, it told one small about it. But the king not get close on. Everybody say, oh, the king not get close. The king not get close. But if oh, majesty live forever. They want a man naked. What they say, when they a special suit for him to wear, they told him, say, invisible clothes on you. They put them see you clothes on you. They put see clothes on you. Everybody bow down to the man. Oh, king live forever. Oh, king live forever. They told one small boy on his father's shoulder, say, and why the king naked? Oh, why the king naked is so? This is typically how Liberia is. This is how Liberia is. Where are we? What's our standing? Because for all indication, the full son of the assistant, the outmatch, anyone we hear, we tell myself, still giant, we're not with them. Imagine. There are percentage. And they're not, and there's a part I really like, they are giving this agreement and not leaving themselves out. They got a portion there. When have Liberia ever gone to a deal, construction agreement, and Liberia got share? When? Where? Where? Eh? The people tell you to construct the railroad, to construct the engineering company, the hardware of it, to have this process. We want it. We give share. You do the you do. And we ourselves got part to play inside. Have we not given more than 75 to 80% out and we level nothing? Look at the metals deal we signed to the port. 2080. To the extent that when the GSC Economic Report, what NRA was expecting, or I expected, I know that has been debated upon, because the Commissioner General said there were a lot of issues with the GSC statement were overstated. What they expected, even remittance, till the post of putting on their account, we go check on their account and there, but they're on there. So what our own going here? So if we're going to have the GSC with folks that P. Gaston Jackson, and we'll have a team of auditors to make us understand what's going on, will we be in the know? And see who now is hailing this thing and allowing the Senate? Sir Joseph, the man who want to become president. You see? Eh? He is a joint committee chairman. You see that? They have requested Liberian document prove that they recently concluded Liberian and Guinea concession. That was negotiated, it was signed, it was fully complied with the law and everything. Now we're hearing something different again. Just November 12th, the committee just said that if we have skipped, if the process, Liberia will face diplomatic fallout and treaty violations if mandatory institutional steps are skipped. And all what we are seeing, we are heard, we are read, is like Guinea doing their own thing, Liberia doing their own thing. And Guinea is far ahead of us, and they are far prepared than us. They are far ready to give what their country needs to their people. But we are still depending on others. Where are we with this? It's good that we sit and talk about these things. Are your lawmakers discussing these things with you? Are they informing you? Are they informed about the major steps? How far are we? How sure are we that this is awful? Because reportedly, the accelerometer now one somebody will use the same rail. We're going to say it might even because the last time even feasibility studies, several analysis required environmental issues were said to be carried out. Accelerometer had issue with because they says some of the areas were in a construction area. You see that? And every time you hear say when you go low on the railroads, other they cut the track, something happening there. Other they put fire there, something happening. So that the travel, they put them to the iron or Guinea be shipping into the port. They become they try something bad there. All iron waiting Labrador, that they won't pay because of some disagreement. Oh no, what I saw me tell them because we want who exclusive right on the side. We will get all the loophole there. They hand all that thing on our side. They don't come on the side because but we tell them they will say we're doing bad business. So this is how we're looking because the people they are outside the country. They are outside us. They talk. They agree. They meet. Who knows that they launch of the program? If the Assembly never had somebody there who represented them, while the country never had anybody. These are just questions we're asking. When the nation will corrupt individuals, there are several questions that will be asked. In this process, this entire launch of the Simandu Iron Ore Project, it have exposed, it have widened, it have shown the gap that there's a diplomatic rift at the very moment. Liberia, where are we? This is it. Say good afternoon to all of you. Are we going to fast forward this matter? Are we going to help ourselves? Are we going to watch out to know where we are? Or even our own history, this is how we have been. If we can sign since the any agreement, they want to get 1, 2, or 3. Tell me now. If we leave it undone, we leave it as it is, and we say to ourselves everything okay. What about the boat? Do not want us? The kind of boat money talking about. We hear some of the boating. They built a concentrator, 4 million plus. Even lawmakers from Nimakande were saying they overstated the amount. Not true. It doesn't match the cost. They put talking about 8 to 20 billion. How about talking about that? No, sir, we are joking. There is more. But would our lawmakers do due diligence? Now that this due is before them, it's good that they are asking all the questions. It's good that they are asking. But will they, with their current record and status, will they be able to do due diligence for Liberia? To say that this is a country not do the right thing for Liberia? Will this development now stop the entire deal that we're having with the HPX? Because mind you, we're talking about the same mountain. And the reason why this thing was happening because there was no way easy for them to carry if they're going to explore it from the angle there. The easier way that Liberia had along the coast here was to come to the Power and the Buchanan and to use the coast. Very short and easy. But the person is building their own. And what they're building, they are nearing completion. And if they complete, they will have no need to come to the side. They are now celebrating a triumph of national pride, geopolitical alignment, economic ambitions, of which Liberia is not a part. Are they overlooking us? Or are we overlooking ourselves? Have we done anything wrong to them that they don't want to come to us and say, oh, Liberia has a mistake, so let's just lead it, let's just do what we're doing here? While we share a very important factor for both countries. What one has to do with them? What are you calling them for? Why you calling? You can't call us. Why you have China there? You can't Lebanon there. Why you have Cote d'Ivoire Lebanon there? Why you have Sierra Leone Lebanon there? And this thing involves both of us. Where are we? The action of our leaders at times can raise a lot of questions up. Why we are making all of the major travel outside, was it not prudent? Where would they walk and attend these prices and know what's going on? Liberia, we'll hold it there, and then we'll travel outside Liberia to follow up some issues on the continent, especially into Africa. We'll come back, we'll go to the lines, and we'll speak to you. This is where we are. A lawmaker said they are dealing with the whole process, but they are asking serious questions. And if these things, what they are saying, are not, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. And here the people that are over this thing, they let us start Joseph. The people want to become president. Do we see it happening now, or do we see it happening when he becomes president? Because he's the chair on that aspect. Is this something that we'll see when he becomes president? Because we're hearing now all of those folks who are in the government, especially from the first branch, who are having issues. They all say in 2029, we'll make sure we'll persecute this government. We'll make sure we'll do the 2029. So it's no longer about now, but it's about 2029. Will they help align this process? Or will they keep a hold on it? Because if you say in 2029, that's 2030, then Guinea is just 10 years away from their realization of where we have not started yet. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Let's take a trip outside Liberia. We'll come back and go to the lines to talk to you. You will have your say. Let me say welcome to all of you, Papi SK Times. Tomorrow I'm watching you. Eugene Collins, say good afternoon, Liberia. John Kroma is following us. Fire Dimbaduno is watching us from Dupont Road. This is the community, Zubatown rather. Zubatown, Dupont Road. Eric Smith is said watching from Neglis Town. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to all of you joining us on today. And from Nimba County, Samuel Gono is watching us. Thank you. Anthony Win Pia is the ELW Rehab. Maxwell Kindima is watching. He said from Attila Sharp and Brewer Bannersville Estate, but Peter Vapula, Ganta, Nema County. So thank you for joining us today. El Cheston, Sele, Dupont Road, Painesville, Abraham Tumbe in Liberia. Good afternoon, historian Vah. Good afternoon, Abraham. Marita Tiwia is watching us today. This is the community. Henry Melvin Page is watching Nema County. Abu Fofana is watching Block Factory, Jacotown. Dominic Harris is watching. He said from a respective corner. Thanks for the show. Thank you also for joining us today. And Willard Mason is watching us, a journalist. Okay. Nuo C. Scott is watching. Nuo, welcome, following you. Elijah G. Lombe is for the African Episcopal Zion University, 116 Benson Street, Monrovia. The Boyman family says congratulations for the update. He said, following from our global online TV headquarters there in Mount Barclay. Thank you, and thanks to all of you. Francis Manjo Bala is watching. Jacob Blocon is the many hundred leaders in our country here. So thank you. Let's now travel outside Liberia. We'll come back, we'll go to the line, so join you. Welcome. It's time. You are also opportune to place your comments. There, we'll certainly bring it forth to the conversations. We'll first travel over to Congo, where at least 32 dead in Congo mine, where the bridge collapsed. Good afternoon. A bridge at a copper and cobalt mine in southern Congo collapsed due to overcrowding, killed at least 32 people. The bridge at the Kilandu mine into Mulondo in the Lualaba province fell on Saturday. Roy Kayuba Mayondi and the province interior minister said during the press conference. Despite the strict prohibition the prohibition on accessing the site due to heavy rainfall and risks of landslides, illegal diggers forced the way into the quarry. A report by the Congo Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining Support and Guardian Service, a government agency, on Sunday said the gunfire from soldiers at the site sparked panic among miners who rushed to the bridge, resulting in a fall that left them piled on top of each other, causing death and injuries. While Mayondi put the death toll at about 32, and the report said at least 40 people had lost their lives. Good afternoon, more on that. You go there and check it out. Madagascar New Linda Randonirina outlines Boro roadmap in the First Nation address, nearly a month after being sworn in as Madagascar's president of the Reef Foundation. Michael made a highly anticipated first address to the nation, speaking to a pre-recorded televised conversation from the state palace, and the colonel who rose to power after weeks of tensions and youth-led demonstrators. A demonstration recounted the dramatic 3-week struggle that reshaped the island. And Michael firmly rejected claims that the fall of the predecessor, Andry Rajoelina, was a coup, insisting no violence occurred, responding to accusations of judicial revenge against the former regime. It was blunt. Investigation are the works of justice, no vengeance, and vowed to pursue those who plunder the country. Laying out Madagascar roadmap, he announced a nationwide consultation led by the influential FFKM to build a new governance system, followed by a referendum and the presidential elections within 2 years. He also promised a new youth assembly with a stronger place for Madagascar's language and history in the schools. And we also say good afternoon, more that you go there and check it out to get a full detail to come out for you there. And before going to the WFP, the crimes, atrocity in Sudan's, they are fracture and made humanitarian crisis upon, where the Deputy Executive Director of the World Food Program, WFP, expressed outrage over the terrible atrocities that recently took place in the city of Al-Fasher in the Sudan's Darfur region. It should have been prevented, and we now really need to step up efforts to prevent these catastrophes from happening elsewhere, unquote. Speaking from Addis Ababa, Karl Sakuil said that there are needs across the country. The international community needs to step up. Last month, the Rapid Support Forces RSF seized Al-Fasher in the capital of Natl Darfur. The rampage through the Saudi hospitals in the city, killing more than 450 people, according to the World Health Organizations. The military and RSF, who were former allies, went to war in 2003, and both sides in the conflict have been accused of atrocity. The WHO says the fighting have killed at least 40,000 people, and the United Nations says about 12 million have been displaced. Good afternoon. Let's now go to the line. 0775 919 919 080 919 919. I didn't know that. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, go ahead. No, these are some of the things that have been said that folks saying we should not say this, we should not say, but it's good to remind our leaders. It's good to tell them that they need to step up their gains. Good afternoon. Let's talk to another caller here.
Good afternoon, the historian Vah.
Yeah, go ahead.
The historian Vah, there's a question in which I see there will be a vision statement on conscience. Your question here is, will they do it now or only do it now? Are they doing it
You're welcome. I know someone says, oh, why you want to say that? Oh, don't say that. But it's good to remind our leaders. It's good. Now, they're talking about before them. Are they going to do the needful? Are they going to right the wrong? Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, Fofi, go ahead.
All right. Thank you for the topic. You know, you said everything, and when you talk about the imperfections about agreement in Nigeria with the government, especially the state agreement, where you found the was just nothing, and then Nigeria stand to benefit nothing in state. That's the same thing in the days of Natl. The quota, the agreement, the contractual agreement, which are help Nigeria to take the quota from the keeper to at least counter connecting the main road. But then the people sat there, they accepted the people, the whole Natl under the impression that indeed they should give them the money they were going to do that project. At the end of the day, what happened for Lima? They took sea water from here, on a Cotton Doma, the superintendent at the time, brought sea water from Monrovia here to Sunny Put it right behind the market. Then to say that water is a direct water. It's the same thing.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. Let's talk to others here. And this is where we are. And sometimes, take it and leave it. We have been affected by this over and over. Every time. It's even for that time. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Professor. Good afternoon, Nathaniel B. To the entire present Professor and to those in New Zealand. My name is Godwin Pilikor, and I call you calling me from the university center campus. Or you see now, thank you for the issue you said. You know, and this is why we are not going further. Consensus arguments are found, not the dividend. The narrative of the Liberians are in no way changed. Yeah, we see ourselves dragging on, we elect representatives, we elect senators, and I tell you from today onward, look, Mr. Vah, you are not dragging an issue in the interest of somebody. Whatever issue you want to fight, that you want to narrow it to your understanding, fine. Go to the studios that will promote that, but it is not through FM. And what, look, this is in the interest of the Liberian people. We must stand for because year in, year out, we see ourselves going nowhere. Nowhere.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Vah.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
My name is Terry Tuna, calling for the GSC Radio. We thank you, Mr. Vah, for the topic of discussion. We are all leaders in the country, except for the investigation. I can't report anything about the topic. How is it that you told us soon that confronting the point, but they haven't discussed it? Nana, you see, your representative, you want to become president, you see, your party, you want to get your opposition president. If they are confronting the country, they are not putting on to discuss it, to help the country. See how the problem is in your opposition. Thank you for the discussion.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And just on the 12th, the committee, the joint committee headed by Sir Joseph, in a letter they stated about this, that Liberia faces diplomatic fallout and treaty violations if mandatory institutional steps, including a joint review with Guinea, were skipped. If we skip the joint review of Guinea, we on our side, we say that we see the go to on our side. So I said, don't say that kind of thing. What are you gonna say when you see negative analysis? Good afternoon. Yeah, go ahead. No. I can't continue with you. You gotta walk away from your radio. Good afternoon. Yeah, go ahead, sir. You're welcome.
You see, these are some of the things for me. I always say, when you are responsible citizen, nobody want to live out in these kind of days. Because people don't take us as serious minded, as a country of serious minded citizens to be responsible citizens. Because our aim is so attitude compared to we are continually exhibiting, people don't respect this country. You see, corruption is we're not going to be a serious minded citizen, that what people will not take us serious. You're talking about all these amount of agreements. Why is the benefit of the citizen? What keep concerning the benefit? So in my mind, these are so many things people can look at, but if we get the things to the people, they have the only behavior, they will just misuse it and make the people suffer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Yuma. And this, if they are saying the communication on the 12th to the 17th, it's before then. They didn't do their part. Good afternoon. You're welcome. You're welcome. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, welcome, Mr. Vah. My name is Pudi of UI, and I'm calling you from Bafapa District 5. Yeah, Mr. Vah, thank you for the talk. But you know, you just like the pastor or the imam who always preach, and the people don't listen. So if you say that you're preaching the message and the people don't listen, you have to use another tactics or means through which the people will listen. What am I saying? Like people, we need to wake up and start impeaching these people. That's the only solution. People wake up from now from early 2005 up to now. People have left talking the Tom that we're still talking. We do start talking now. We're talking. So we continue talking and talking and then the devil that the action to be taken. Not only the talking. Let's start impeaching the people. Let's start from our community to the district and go to the county. You will see the guy with the people they will wake up. Let's shake them up.
Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
And this is Pastor David. So, for me, I'm not looking at it from the legislative angle, right? They all have a reflection and retrospect of it. Just recently, the MCC scorecard indicated that our country, the government, has failed to protect the natural resources of the country. Generally, what does that mean? Does that mean to all of us? If the resources of the country, the resources that is gold, that is diamond, that is iron ore, that is sand, just everything. The report says the government has failed to protect the natural resources of the country. What does that suggest to all of us? What does it mean? How are we not shifting blame from the when you all over in the country?
But hello, you just asked a question. How? When lawmakers elected by the people, they themselves having this on Saturday, just the 12th of November, they are having this on Saturday, and they before them, what are they going to do?
So all of us, that's why I don't want us to pretend. Well, all of us know exactly what the component you are here.
Okay. I'm asking why should they do? What will they do? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let's say you point the thing before you, then you say, oh, but I'm pretend. What are you going to do? That's the question. Your child said they call you when you play the card, you see the child say, what are you going to do? The child said, what are you going to do? Yeah. We say, oh, any signs is a consider agreement. You can't come up and where they sign it over. You can't come and they sign. So what will stop it? What will the writing be done? Now, imagine they brought their border communication on the 12th of November. Today's the 17th. How many days there? That's what happened. They say we should not do. What are we going to do? The days before them, they don't have a part to play. Okay. You didn't even report having this thing. The joint committee chairman were having on this concession access agreement. that involve Guinea and like, bro, don't you think they should be in the meeting there on the launch? Go ahead. Okay, let me take my final call. I gotta go. Time. Good afternoon. My final call. And I say to another caller, the Senate committee headed by Santos is opposition lawmaker. Why are they doing it? Correct this. Okay. Oh, okay, my brother. Thank you. I got to go. Let me say welcome. Time is man's greatest. And these are all wonders on the wall. And it's good that we don't sit by and allow this to happen to us. I know some people say, oh, why are you saying this? Why should this? It's something that's happening right now. Our lawmakers informing the citizens about this. Are they cognizant of the danger that before this thing? Are we really serious? Because imagine, we were behind this deal with HPS during the past regime on former President George. We are. At the time they put on state consulting somebody else. Now see how far they are gone. Where are we with this process? You want to tell me it was serious to build another railroad that will have another one with Vah Sr using our building in the days of Lago? You did 3, 4, 5 we can build one railroad from the part of Buchanan? We can do it. But because we're so much like a dazzle, we neg on issues, we always wait what we will get in our pocket and all those things. And everybody are serious. They don't want to waste their money. They want to put their money in the project that make it work, that give one return to that people, that provide jobs, that bring infrastructure to that people. Why we say we want to provide jobs, we want to bring infrastructure to our people, we still dragging up one. Now it's before the Senate, it's before the joint committee, headed by Sir Joseph. What are they going to do? There's the question we're asking. What are they going to do? We were hearing the story. Yeah, it happened before. It happened in 1960. It happened in 1980. It happened in 2000, 2005. It happened in 2017, 2018. What about now? What will you do today? Good afternoon. I have to go today. I'm here with T. Nicholas Barkley. Until tomorrow on Tuesday, we'll be here with another edition. But have a pleasant good afternoon. I'm Nathaniel.
Vai ter essa